Give me a sec. Starting the stream now, so I should be sending it to YouTube. I'm trying to see. All right. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes NFL Week 14 reactions and Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the brofict one, AJ, and with me, as always, is the sportsbook whisperer himself. Don't get me wrong, he did great in NFL, but let me tell you, his more impressive work is on the hardwood with the college basketball. Going, what are we now, 8-1 today, bro?
We're waiting on another game to finish right now. So we're either 7-2 or 8-1, depending on what happens with the Cal Poly and Portland game.
Hey, that's not bad.
Portland,
so we will
Portland State, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and we are here on Monday night after a pretty crazy NFL. I wouldn't even say crazy. I think it was crazy for guys like us who sit down, talk about the games all the time, and analyze it and really see what's going on, and then, bet the whole damn board because we have nothing else better to do on a Sunday. And, taking dogs and stuff like that. A lot of favorites covering this week. Sportsbooks getting absolutely hammered, let me tell you.
Oh, did
what
they?
were your initial thoughts? Oh, bro, so many of the favorites. Whenever you have Tampa and the Cowboys covering, and then the Packers covering as well, I mean, sportsbooks are just going to get killed, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Okay, well, Tampa should not have.
No.
I mean, we'll circle back to this game, but I just want to say, holy shit, at the end there, how the fuck was there no PI call?
Oh, honestly.
That was egregious. Stephon Diggs clearly interfered with, should have been a PI, setting the Bills up with a 1st and goal, down 3 with 24 seconds on the 1-yard line.
It was just an unbelievable turn of events in this game. And let's go right into it, Noah. Buccaneers, Bills. Buccaneers losing 33-27.
Oh, so,
I mean,
okay, so we're
Do we want to go?
A little off.
No, let's go.
I was thinking we circle back to that game. I didn't want to get too into it.
Sorry, we'll circle back to the craziness.
I do want to say that call was just terrible. Very well may have changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I will say,
and
that
I have more. I have more to say about it. I have more to say about that and calls in Tampa Bay, but
we'll get there.
We will get there.
I will say, besides the Tampa game, though, the refs were really, well, except the Cardinals game, the refs were really non-involved this week, and I think that's good for the refs. We don't really have to talk about the refs like a team, but as the NFL as a whole, we've been dealing with a lot of long games and a lot of bullshit calls and a lot of calls that don't really need to be called. So I'm glad that the NFL and the refs took kind of a step back and let the boys be boys and let them play some football.
Yeah, and I don't even think the Rams and Cardinals game tonight was that bad.
Well, you're not a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, so I'm not. I mean, I was pretty much 90% impartial on this game. And I didn't think the refereeing was, terrible. And, this week for pretty much every game other than the Bills and Buccaneers, I didn't think the refs were actually that bad. I thought this was one of the better weeks that we've had this entire season with refereeing.
Yeah, definitely one of the better weeks, and we'll get into that as a whole. I think I don't want to talk about it, though. This wound is still a little too fresh. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. But the Cardinals took a devastating loss at home to the Rams, officially splitting the series with them, like you said they would, I guess. I mean, just sloppy football from the Arizona Cardinals. Not what we're accustomed to seeing with them by any means necessary. Kyler Murray missing some very basic throws. Our defense just being soft up top and letting Matthew Stafford have a field day, looking like Tom Brady out there. Shout out Cooper Kupp, though. Cooper Kupp is just a stud, dude. That guy is unbelievable what he can do with the football and how he catches it.
He's been good the last few years, right? But his pairing with his pairing with Matthew Stafford, holy shit, the chemistry that those guys have, and the fact that that chemistry was like immediate. It didn't take them any time at all to build up this chemistry, and they're going crazy. Cooper Kupp obviously leading the NFL in touchdown receptions, and yards, going for the triple crown, which is pretty rare for receivers. But I'm not going to go as far as saying he's the best receiver in the league. I'm not even going to put him in the top 5, but I think he's definitely a top 10 receiver. I put him in that like 6 to 10 category. He's the real deal. Cooper Kupp he's good. He's good. But
absolutely. I think
it's all chemistry, I think, is why he's having such a good season. And stat wise, he is number 1. But like I said, I put him outside of my top 5 skill wise. I think for something to do with his chemistry with Matthew Stafford is just insane, and they're having a hell of a year together.
Oh, they really are. And I think it's only going to grow because that's a relationship that we've seen, especially in the past, where if a quarterback and a wide receiver, they have good chemistry just out the gate. Can you imagine after another training camp, after another offseason, after another weeks together oh man, next year is the Rams. I'm excited to see what the Rams and Matt Stafford are going to do next year. I do want to dog on my Cardinals. All right, do you want to suck the Rams' dick anymore, or?
Yeah, I was just going to say when they get Woods back next year.
Okay. Yeah, true.
Because that was the other side of the situation. Stafford and Woods, it took them a while to start getting things going, and they were just getting their chemistry going. And unfortunately, Woods out for the season now.
Yeah,
right as him and Stafford seem to be hitting their groove as well. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the offseason. And I mean, the Rams are going to run into salary cap issues and all that shit coming into this next season. So we'll see. They'll have to do a lot of juggling this offseason. But if they can retain Woods and Kupp and have Stafford there still, which they obviously will, could be interesting. Van Jefferson also really kind of emerging as a good wide receiver, like probably one of the best wide receiver 3s in the league.
Easily, yeah. No,
yeah,
Rams. This is the Rams team we were supposed to see. This is the Rams team we were supposed to see all year. They kind of took a stumble, but it looks like they're right back at it. Now, don't get me wrong. My Arizona Cardinals are the best team, the second best team in football right now, and that has not changed. However, fuck off, Noah. We'll talk about the Packers later. All right, give me a moment for my Cardinals, because Arizona sports never get a light in the sun. The entire fucking game,
that's fine.
These assholes are just burying the Cardinals.
I'm just glad you acknowledged second best now.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm man enough to admit, like, we're professionals here. I mean, not really, but we're professionals here. I can admit when I'm wrong. And the Cardinals, I don't know what we saw tonight, because this is what's worrying me. This is the Cardinals team we saw the second half last season. Kyler Murray missing easy throws, DeAndre Hopkins not being a factor whatsoever in the game. I mean, how do you have the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL and just let him kind of sit in the league, number 1, and just let him sit on the sideline and do absolutely nothing? How do you let him do that? And that's what they did until they threw him some balls and stuff. James Conner obviously is just a stud, but Kingsbury, bro, don't get me wrong. We are a running team. We can run the ball very well. Why did you get D-Hop if we're not going to use him? Don't get me wrong. The Rams were playing extremely good defense and very good coverage, but there's a reason the saying is, fuck it, Hopkins is out there. Kyler Murray's just got to throw the ball. Hail Murray is the thing because DeAndre Hopkins can catch anything. So let the man do his job and catch everything. The Cardinals have a history with this. Larry Fitzgerald could catch everything, and we wouldn't only throw him the ball once a game. We're not going to win football games throwing the best receiver in the league one time. Fuck.
I share some sentiment there just because I drafted Hopkins in the second round of my fantasy draft. And granted, he's missed a couple games with injuries, but when he's been healthy, He hasn't had a 100-yard game this season. He has not broken 100 yards once this season.
And what are we doing? What are we doing?
You know,
this is why we're losing a football game here.
you know who has broken 100 yards this season? Christian Kirk and Zach Ertz both have broken 100 yards, but somehow D-Hop hasn't.
Because we don't give the best receiver in the NFL the ball.
Second best. But
well, he's now probably the second best because we don't throw him the fucking ball.
no, he's the second best because Devontae Adams is better, but that's okay.
He's not, but well, that's a different conversation for later. Noah, let's get into it. We might as well. Let's talk about the Bears and the Packers. Sunday Night Football. Packers.
Are we just working our way backwards?
Well, you know, or? it was a nice transition.
I mean, I'm
there,
cool with
so
it. I'm cool with it. Yeah,
I was trying to be smooth and stuff, but here you are fucking up my transitions. I mean,
all right, that's fine. I'm down to talk Bears Packers.
I know you are, and I think this is the first time ever that you and I have been so happy to see the Bears lose. Because let me tell you, the first half, I'm
always happy. I'm always happy to see the Bears lose.
No, but the first time you and I were collectively, as a unit, happy the Bears lost.
All right. Yeah, probably. Fair enough. I mean, you're at the point this season where you just want them to lose so Nagy and Pace get fired.
And I think, shout out, this game clinched us getting a new head coach next season. So congratulations to the Bears for clinching a new head coach next year. Honestly, it's very rare this early in the season that you can clinch that. I think the Jaguars might be the next to clinch it, but that's a conversation, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Matt Nagy losing in Lambeau really is just put a fork in it, call it a season.
I don't think it's about just losing. I think it's the fact that, if you're the Bears, you go into halftime with a lead and then get outscored 24-3 in the second half. Speaking of which, the first half was just a fucking mess to begin with.
Oh, God. Disgusting football.
Packers special teams literally handed the Bears everything they needed on a platter.
Almost lost you the game twice if it wasn't for a bullshit rule.
Well, if you want to talk about Packers special teams in the first half, you give up kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Give up two big punt returns that gave the Bears two different possessions where they started in Packers territory.
Oh yeah, forgot about
that. And then you have another one where you got Malik Taylor trying to catch the ball out of fucking bounds. Where if he just let the kickoff go out of bounds, Packers would have got the ball at the 40-yard line. Instead, he touches it, so the Packers get the ball starting at the 5-yard line. 35-yard difference on that play. So Packers special teams, which has been an issue for decades, for some reason, that's the one thing that we cannot figure out. And seems to always, in the Chiefs game, special teams fucked us more than anything else. Like, we would have won that Chiefs game if it weren't for our special teams being absolutely garbage. Mason Crosby obviously been struggling a lot this season with his field goal kicking.
Bro, he can't figure it out. He cannot figure it out.
It's a tale old as time. Packers special teams is fucking garbage. They were exceptionally garbage in this game, especially in the first half. They really tried to put us in a hole. Luckily, they didn't make any mistakes in the second half, and Aaron Rodgers came out. I gotta ask AJ, Aaron Rodgers, is he better on 9 toes than he is on 10?
So,
because he kind of seems like it.
Dude, that was the funniest part.
His two best games of the season have been on with the fucking broken toe.
Dude, so explain this to me. You got Baker Mayfield out here apparently playing taped up WD-40 on himself and, a Toradol shot every 5 minutes just so he can stay alive. And then you got Rodgers, who literally can't walk on one foot, making these jump passes and everything like that. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is better on nine toes. I just think his body is overcompensating for not being at 100%. And so he's just going to another level. You know what I mean? I like imagine him like he is now a Jedi ghost. You know what I mean? He's unstoppable. Whereas as a mortal Jedi, he can still die. Not to
I
get
just
too
think the
nerdy on you.
funny, I just think the funniest thing was the post game conference, right? He's like, because his toe
Oh,
got like
it's
stepped on or fell on or something, and so he's like, yeah, it's a little bit of a setback, but he's like, we'll have to reevaluate and see if surgery is an option. Blah 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 blah.
see,
I'm like, this dude loves just hyping up his own fucking narrative is one thing, but
bro, and I
also
love it. And I love it because this is because he probably lost a couple MVP votes because of the whole vaccine bullshit. And so now this is him saying, "Okay, yeah, fine, whatever. I missed a game.
well no
By
no
the
no no
way,
no no
my
no
foot's
no
fucking broken, and I'm
because the
playing
MVP
better than
I don't
quarterbacks
know
that are
about
fully
that
healthy."
because MVP votes are not Pro Bowl votes. They're not fan driven.
True, true, very very true. But
I
still, the media the way
it,
it is, I mean,
Rogers, based on his stats and the way he's been playing this season, he was rightfully, barely top five, if not slightly outside of the top five in MVP
yeah,
race. You look at his last three games against the Vikings, which unfortunately we lost, the Rams, and then this one against the Lions. Holy shit, this dude is. If you forgot how much Aaron Rodgers can fucking take over a game and impose his will on any fucking defense, the Packers, the last 4 weeks because we had a bye week, but the last three games, that should remind you that Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT.
I will say it's kind of weird though for Aaron Rodgers to own the Bears and then for Aaron Rodgers to invite them to his own house. You know what I mean? I think he would want to keep him in Soldier Field, but he can own them anywhere, I guess. We'll probably see them play in Dubai one day, and Aaron Rodgers will come out of retirement and just still be like, "Yeah, even on this continent, motherfuckers." Um,
My last thing with this game is I think it was so funny. Just because obviously I like track along on Twitter and stuff. I'm tweeting myself sometimes. You see people bitching and moaning in the first half. They're like, "Oh God, here we go again." I don't know how. I don't know how it happened, but like why Packers fans as a fan base are so skeptical all the time,
yeah.
like so glass half empty.
Oh my
I,
God,
mean,
yeah. You guys
meanwhile,
are
meanwhile,
rough.
I'm meanwhile I'm sitting here and I'm like, we're down one score to the Bears at halftime, and we get the ball first, and I'm like, I was never worried at any point in this game
No.
because I'm like, it's the fucking Chicago Bears with
Yeah,
Justin
exactly.
Fields as quarterback. I'm like, we're not going to lose this game, but
No, no chance.
the the amount of shit I saw online with people being like all worried and like skeptical about like they're like, oh God, here we go again, blah blah blah, and I'm like, shut up,
Bro,
I'm like
when
it's I'm like it's halftime and we're down what 4 points, like
yeah,
give me a break.
going into
I
halftime,
mean,
people were like, "Are you scared about Packers minus 11 and a half?" Not even a little bit, bro. I mean, Rodgers from behind. Yeah, I'm even more like secure about my cover right now. Like, he's gonna go
well,
off. My last thing on. Sorry, God.
I text I texted you, AJ,
Yeah,
when the Packers
160.
went down when they went down 11 and they were still minus 160. And I said, well, guess it's time to put the mortgage on minus 160. And the Packers were
Responsibly,
down like
responsibly put the mortgage on 160.
the
You
Packers
know,
were down like 10 or 11. They were down 10 or 11, not 10. They were down 11 at that point. And
yeah.
this was in the second quarter. They're down 11 and they're still minus 160 money line. But I'm like, well, I guess I'm throwing everything on that because fuck it, they're going to win.
If you have to do it, you have to
And
do
they
it. I don't blame you.
and not only did they win, they also covered the 12 and a half that I also bet
True.
on. So,
Anyway, last thoughts on this game. Justin Fields, not a bad quarterback. Bro, if you're listening, first of all, why are you
um,
listening to this show? Second
I
of
was
all,
hoping to see I was hoping to see Nick Foles at some point, but
we
that
won't.
didn't
We
happen,
won't. We're going to
obviously.
pay him $30 million to be a nice little ornament on the fucking bench. I hate the Bears. Um, Justin Fields, if you're listening, you're great, dude. You're going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Do whatever you can. Talk to your agent. Get the fuck out of the Bears because we're going to ruin you. And I say this as a person who wants to see you succeed. I see a lot of talent in you and someone who can really lead a franchise to a Super Bowl. That franchise, though, is not the Chicago Bears. That is not a winning mentality there. And that is being seen keeping Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace in office for another day. Anyway,
I do have to say though, I think Packers now 11-2 ATS.
Bro,
also,
they're disgusting against the spread.
Also, I think sorry, not 11-2. They're 11-2 ATS, 10-3 on the under this season.
Not bad. Not bad. All right.
So keep that in mind. Obviously, pretty much every single week I've been betting Packers spread plus the under, which has been doing really well. Although it clearly did not hit the under in this game. This 45-30. That was massive points.
No, absolutely. Massive points. Is a very big scoring game, not expected. Another game not expecting to score a lot of points. Game that I think we both thought was going to be a complete shitter, going all the way back to the beginning of the week. Steelers-Vikings on Thursday Night Football. Vikings squeak out a win, 36-28. I mean, I stayed off of this game because fuck this game and everything about it. I mean, Najee Harris is the best thing going for the Steelers right now. Same with T.J. Watt. But Big Ben, this is his go-home tour. He really should retire tomorrow.
Well,
Shout out Big Ben. He had a hell of a career.
Watt went out in the first or second quarter with a groin injury again for like the third time this season. Makes you nervous about that.
He's going to need... it just hasn't fully recovered yet, probably.
AJ, I think the biggest story here is the Vikings almost blowing the largest, almost setting the record for the largest blown lead in NFL history.
And it would have been a very Vikings thing to do. It would have been a very Vikings thing to do.
So a couple times in NFL history, a 28-point lead has been blown, which makes sense. 4 touchdowns, 28. Vikings were up 29-0 in this game. And if not for some stupid bullshit shenanigans from Chase Claypool, them getting lucky with, well, not lucky, but Harrison Smith coming up with a very clutch play at the end, punching the ball out of Pat Freiermuth's hands on that last play, which shouldn't have been the last play if fucking Claypool wasn't celebrating his fucking first down with 38 seconds left and the clock running. Man, Pittsburgh got very close to potentially putting this game into overtime, despite being down 29-0 in the third quarter. Both of these teams suck. And that's about all I got on this game, is that both of these teams suck. Neither deserve to make the playoffs. I don't think either team will make the playoffs.
They're both in the hunt.
Actually, the Vikings might. The Pittsburgh's not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. Vikings could squeak their way into like the 7 seed in the NFC.
We'll see. It was a game that I did not want to watch, but was forced to watch, and yet I survived somehow. So I guess I'll take that as a win.
It was a great game by certain metrics. I mean, depending on what you want. I mean, it was.
Metrics are.
The first 2.5 quarters were not exciting at all, but if you enjoy watching an almost comeback, it was pretty exciting.
Very true. Now, going up next, we got the Saints and the Jets. Let me tell you, Noah, God damn it, Zach Wilson, I thought he was going to do it. Taysom Hill decided to show up, show out, really put up some good numbers, perform. Alvin Kamara being back really shows how much of an effect he has on that offense. And honestly, Taysom Hill spreading it around on offense, passing obviously, Jets defense not being that good and taking advantage of that. My big takeaway from this game is the Jets are still moving in the right direction. Don't get me wrong, it's not big improvements, but we're seeing small improvements every week, excuse me, with the Jets, and I love that. That means this is a team that is going to be building around Zach Wilson, which is going to be good, around Bob Saleh, who I love as a head coach, and I think this team in the next couple years honestly is set up better to be successful than the Jacksonville Jaguars right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. I think the Jets have a better. I think they have a brighter outlook than the Jaguars do for sure. Obviously, Zach Wilson very much looking like a rookie.
Yeah.
Although I don't think he turned the ball over in this game,
Let me double check.
which is
Yeah, no interceptions for Zach Wilson.
good,
19 for
especially
42,
against
202 yards.
This Saints defense is still good though. Like this is a good Saints defense. I feel like that gets lost sometimes. I mean, they've had a couple bad games this season, but I feel like that's been getting lost a lot. The Saints defense is still really good. The offense is kind of the root of most of their problems.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what I'm looking at right now?
so
Hey, Jets, if you want to be good next year, get a running back, bro, because you guys got
Oh,
no
dude, they
running
have
game.
a
You're
running
having
back.
Zach, but they didn't. Then
Dude,
why are they having
they
Zach
have a
Wilson
they
throw
have
the ball
a
for 42 times? You
they
don't
have
have
a
a rookie
really
quarterback
good
throw it that much?
they have a really good rookie running back, Michael Carter,
You just didn't play today.
he's out. He's injured.
Oh, is he out?
He's been out. Like this is his second or third game missed, but
Okay.
he was really coming into his own. He was playing well. But they're also missing Mekhi Becton, which is their best offensive lineman. Their Corey Davis is out for the season, I think, which is their best receiver. But I do agree with you. I do like what Bob Saleh is doing here with
Yeah.
the Jets.
He's epic.
Um, they need a couple more years before they can really be like kind of playoff contention type of team. But I do think they will continuously improve over the next couple of years. And 2-3 years from now, we might see the Jets pushing for a playoff spot.
I can see it.
I think they got a lot of good building blocks. They just need to like add more of those. They have like fucking like 2-3 first round picks this season.
Damn, that'd be
Unfortunately,
good.
Seattle winning games is kind of killing the stock of one of their picks. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about this game.
No.
Saints obviously the better team, which is why I slammed the Saints -5. I figured they would win this game pretty handily. But yeah, I mean, I think the Jets' future is not terrible. I think they have a bright future a couple of years from now.
Oh, absolutely. Another team moving right along that, okay, I think we need to have an honest conversation with everyone about the Panthers, okay? You bring in a quarterback middle of the season and you expect them to learn
AJ.
a whole playbook. No, let me finish. You expect them to learn a whole playbook. You expect them to have chemistry with the wide receivers, running backs, everything. And also just to turn this team completely around. Okay, Panthers fans, do not worry. You are paying Cam Newton a fuck ton of money to learn on the job. All right, next season, don't get me wrong, you're not winning a Super Bowl or anything like that, but you'll win some of these close games. You'll be maybe around 500, maybe a little bit above. But so Panthers fans, I would not be worried. I really like what Cam Newton's doing. I think that he just needs a little bit more time. I'm a Cam Newton guy. I don't know what the hell you want me to say. All right, he just needs time under this new system and everything. You can't. He was under the Belichick system for a year and a half, and now he's moving to a completely new system, completely different offense, and he's doing his best. And I'm not upset. He went 15 for 23, 178 yards, and then had 10 carries for 47 yards. What more do you want for the guy?
To win fucking games?
No shit, Noah. But here's the thing about football. It's
They
what we
played
like to call
Atlanta.
a team
They played-
sport. It's a team sport. The defense let Atlanta score 29
They played
points.
the Falcons. They played the fucking Falcons.
Whatever. You know what I mean. The Panthers defense let the Falcons score 29 points.
Bro. And just what have I been saying about the fucking Panthers all season? All season when they got off to that 3-0 start. Because I was on their under at the start of the season. They were over under 7.5 wins, and I said under big time. They started 3-0. That jumped up. It jumped up to 9.5 for their over under for wins. And what was I preaching? I was saying, oh, this is the biggest fucking steal bet that you can even have is betting the Panthers under 9.5. I don't even know how the hell it got up to 9.5. They're going to win 6 games tops, maybe 5. Maybe 5. They might only win 5 games this year. So that 7.5 was clearly a lock at the beginning of the season when they got off to a 3-0 start and it jumped to 9.5. That was an even bigger lock. The Panthers suck. And I even got coaxed into betting on them like twice this year. I don't know how that happened. I lost both of those bets because this is a trash fucking team. This is a trash organization. They're just a trash organization. They're bad. They're just a bad team. And they're dumping way too much money into like their star players. So I don't even see them getting better over the next couple of years because they're just like dumping money into their couple good players, and they're just gonna stay on the struggle bus for at least 3 or 4 more years. Mark my words on that.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. 2 teams that are still on the struggle bus. One of them a little bit more than another. The Seahawks somehow pulling out a win against the Houston Texans, 33-13. Noah, I'm not gonna lie to you. At the bar I work at, we have every single game on TV. This is the one TV I did not bother to look at one time the entire day because you couldn't have paid me money to watch this game, bet on this game, even talk about this game. But yet here we are not getting paid talking about the game. So if you want to get us paid, please like, share, and subscribe so that we can get some sponsors, huh? And we'll talk about more shitty games like this.
You know, that too.
Shit, Venmo us. I'll start Degenerate takes Venmo. Just Venmo us like 5% of your winnings whenever you hit on a bet we put in. Anyway.
Yeah, so
Seahawks,
Venmo
Texans,
me
don't give a
5,000
shit.
and I'll shut you out in the next episode.
Anyway, don't give a shit about this game. Russell Wilson is still leaving. Texans still need to figure it out. Maybe Russell goes down to Texas. Rebuilds down there. Probably not, but it's something that could happen.
We both know damn well that Bill O'Brien really fucked that franchise. Nobody wants to. That is like the one team in the NFL that like nobody wants to go to. Which even though they have one more win than the Lions this year, I think almost every single NFL player would rather go to the Lions right now with what they have going than the Texans.
With Dan Campbell, we'll get to the Lions later.
Bite the kneecaps off, baby. God. Yeah, I mean,
you give a shit about this game?
Not really. I mean, I figured Seattle would blow them. Well, I mean, I guess I bought an extra point, and I should have just taken Seattle minus 7.5 instead of buying it down to 6.5. But whatever. I'm not gonna.
Not gonna cry over a loose bet.
I'm not gonna shy away from that. Yeah, I mean, I got a slightly worse payout because I decided to be safe and buy the point, which is fine. But yeah, not surprised that Seattle blew out Houston. Let Russ cook. Let Russ cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Yeah, God, I hate Seahawks fans. Unless you're a subscriber to this show and you're a Seahawks fan, then I don't hate you. But
but even if you are a subscriber to the show and you're a Seahawks fan, all we do is shit talk the Seahawks. So I don't know what you're listening to us for, but we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Well, so go ahead and drop another like right there for us.
Not necessarily. I mean, you really bag on the Niners more than anything.
Well, that's because they're the second worst team in football behind the Seahawks. They're just
Yeah,
fake.
they're going to make the playoffs, but
They're not going to make the playoffs. That's another conversation. Anyway, any other thoughts on this game? Because I want to get to. I have a
no,
interesting
move
thought on
on,
this next
move
game.
on. We don't need to talk about the Seahawks anymore. I mean, they beat a shitty Texans team. Congratulations.
Congrats,
Have
bro.
a have a
All right.
have a imaginary virtual ribbon from me. Congratulations. You won another fucking game. You're
All right,
fucking
Noah.
5-8.
Here, I have a theory I want to run by you that I think has been proven time and time again now. And let's talk about it. If you're an NFL team or a player or even a brother of a teammate or something, if you are doing anything remotely related to TikTok, dancing, or anything like getting hyped or anything related to that on an NFL logo, on an NFL field, on anything
Oh, God.
NFL, on game day, you are going to get your shit rocked. The Raiders. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
They
All right, we're back. The Raiders.
they signed their death warrant before this game even started.
Bro, the moment I saw them dancing on the logo, I knew it was over. And so what did I do? I went to the bank. I took out a student loan. I said, yeah, I'm going to the University of Gambling, and I'm putting every dollar I have on the Chiefs to actually cover a game. And you know what? Get on
We're
them.
going to the University of Kansas City Chiefs.
And the home of the Chiefs. Thanks for joining me, Noah.
Yeah, that was a
Dude,
fucking
that was
that was
such
a
a bad
blowout and a
decision.
half. That was a blowout and a half.
Such a bad decision on their part. You can't do that. You can't do it. Jackson Mahomes stopped doing it. The Chiefs start playing better. Then a team does it to them and they blow them out. It's just poetry in motion. Juju Smith out this entire year because of the dancing he's been doing. So
Yeah, no, he sustained a TikTok injury. That's why he hasn't playing this year.
it is
Fucking,
what it is.
Yeah, tore his ACL doing a TikTok dance or something. I don't know.
Anyway, congrats to the Chiefs for beating a team that literally tried to stomp on your graves. All right, no.
Bro, I just want to say, AJ, the Raiders are they looked really strong at the beginning of the season, and now they just look like a fucking dead dog. They're just, I mean, the last 3-4 weeks, all they're doing is they're just getting fucking kicked around by everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Just the shit kicked out of them.
They're dead. And the funny thing is, they're still at what 6-7 or 7-6 or some bullshit like that. Like they still have
bullshit.
according to ESPN, they still have a 16% chance at making the playoffs, which I don't even. And I was
Listen, hey,
big
if
on
my stats if my stats don't come from Amazon Web Services, stat that I don't want to fucking hear it. Okay, stat that. No, I don't want to hear ESPN anymore. Okay, we stat that
all right
on this show.
All right, hashtag stat that.
Hashtag
Raiders.
Stat that Raiders suck.
16% chance of making the playoffs. God, I was so hype on this. I definitely thought this team was going to make the playoffs earlier in the season. They definitely looked like it. Holy shit, they look like fucking roadkill at this point. Like literally everyone's running them over.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad. Browns are bad too. Browns are not a good football team.
Well, the difference is, the Browns, whatever, they're doing their thing. Raiders, they're just straight up roadkill. Nobody's even swerving out of the lane. They're just running them over.
Oh, my bad. We're still talking about the Raiders. I thought we transitioned. My bad.
No, I was just saying the Raiders. They're like roadkill because just one team after another just keeps running them over at this point.
Very true.
What have it lost like? I feel like they've lost like 4 or 5 straight, and they're somehow still in like the playoff picture.
Yeah.
Don't really
I think they
understand
said
how
tonight on the
that's.
broadcast 26 of the 32 teams are still in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, because I mean, what?
The
The
Jaguars and the Lions have been mathematically eliminated.
and the
They
Texans
mathematically and the Texans.
and the Jets.
R.I.P.
Yeah, those are the only four teams that have been eliminated. So we got 28 out of 32 are still
26.
mathematically still in it. But uh, obviously you got like the AFC. Everybody who hasn't been eliminated in the AFC is still in it.
Yeah.
NFC is a different story. Like you got the Giants, the Bears, the Panthers, and the Seahawks, who
Yeah, the
are
teams aren't going to make it, but the teams that are still kind of like, we're here, we're going to party a little bit longer, but
which is yeah. So you got four teams in the NFC that are on the verge of elimination, but AFC, everybody who, other than the three teams that have been eliminated mathematically, everybody
yeah,
else is still fucking in it. Like I said, I mean the Raiders are still
good.
like they're a couple wins out of being in playoff position somehow, some way. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. But know what? Let's talk about two teams we do know a lot about, and they're pretty much done. You got the Ravens and the Browns. Browns beating the Ravens 22-24. I don't know what Lamar Jackson was doing this game, bro. I couldn't. He was not
Well, you got
Lamar Action Jackson. And they did get injured, I guess. And so then Tyler Huntley got to come in.
he got injured 10 seconds into the second quarter, but
Still wasn't playing well in the first, but regardless. Tyler Huntley came in 27-38, 270 yards, one tutty. Not bad for a backup. Baker Mayfield 22 for 32, 190 yards, two tutties, and an interception. I mean, for a quarterback that's taped together, has some WD-40 on there, the warranty's about to expire. He's doing pretty okay, but nothing too significant. Both these teams, I mean, Browns 7-6, Baltimore 8-5. They both need a couple miracles to fall in. And I got really nothing else to say because this was, of the games I watched that day, this is the one I probably paid least attention to.
yeah. My biggest thing is I just I hope Lamar's okay. I just hope he's not ready to play next week. I had as a Packers fan, obviously Packers playing at Baltimore next week. I would hope let's hope he takes a good 8 or 9 days to recover.
Yeah,
And then he's ready to go next week because I love watching Lamar. I'm a big Lamar guy. I do
huge Lamar guy, big Lamar.
Which I always find it interesting why so many people shit on him as a quarterback. I'm a big Lamar fan. I'm just hoping his injury keeps him out 1 week and 1 week only, and then I hope he's back. But I do not give a shit about the Browns. I do think they, I don't know. They're gonna be one of those teams that's right on the verge where it's like literally going to be week 18 of the season is going to determine whether or not they make the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, it's not going to matter because they're going to be like a first round exit type of team. If they do,
agree completely. Let's talk about a team now that actually has playoff hopes and probably will do pretty well. Dem boys going to the football team, 27-20. They get the win. They cover the 6.5. Love to see it.
Almost fucking.
And this
threw
is
it
coming
away,
after. Sorry.
Almost threw it away though.
Oh, almost. They're very good at that. They're the Dallas Cowboys, though. What do you expect? And this is coming out after Mike McCarthy guaranteed a win against Washington football team. Glad that came true, or else he would have gotten absolutely obliterated more than he already was. I mean, the Cowboys are the Cowboys. Washington under Heineke. Heineke might be the answer for this squad. Kyle Allen, I know, took some snaps. Did Heineke get injured?
Well, he got injured. I don't know what his status is, but
I have not seen an update on that either. I hope he gets better because he's fun to watch play. Fitzmagic should be coming back soon, though, right?
I don't know about
Probably.
that.
Because if Fitzmagic comes back, they really have nothing to worry about because it's just going to be they're going to be chilling because it's going to be picking up right where they left off. Taylor Heineke, I mean, 6-7, they can probably go a little bit over 500 and not be the worst thing in the world. It'd probably be a really big step for the football team getting a new name next year. But them boys, dude.
No. Fitzmagic's out for the season. He's
Oh, I
not
thought.
returning.
Oh, I thought he was coming back at some point.
No. He's done.
Well, anyway,
That's all I
go
need
Cowboys. That's all I have to say about this. Next game, we got
Yep.
Jaguars and Titans. Another game I could not give less of a shit about. It seems like the Jaguars almost did better after Urban Meyer stuck his fingers up a girl's ass than without the fingers. So maybe he just needs to start going to bars a little bit more, divorce his family, and get his team some wins.
I don't know. I don't have a lot to say. I don't have a lot to say about this game other than it was a shit game. What was it, like 20-0?
Yep.
Urban Meyer keeps fucking digging himself deeper in his grave, but Jacksonville as an organization refuses to throw any of the dirt on top of him. So he's just digging a hole without any metaphorically, he's digging his own grave deeper and deeper and deeper, but Jacksonville refuses to fill that grave in.
Oh, yeah.
This is I don't even know, because at this point, I can't imagine they would bring him back for a second year, but maybe they will. I don't know. It just blows my mind. This is just a terribly run organization. I don't know how the fuck they managed to, stumble their way into 2 wins this season, but that's about all I have to say about this game.
I agree. So let's move it on. Lions Broncos. Before we talk about the game, we do want to say rest in peace to Demaryius Thomas, and thoughts and prayers are with his family and everyone. Very sad to hear, dying so young. He was a very talented player. So shout out to him.
Yeah, that was shocking. That was shocking news. Especially at only 33 years old.
Yeah, young guy.
I mean, but across the NFL, the tributes given to him was great to see.
Yeah, it was great to see. And the game starting with the Broncos with 10 men on the field and then the Lions declining the penalty. That's a cool moment in the NFL, and that's really what sports is about, I mean, yeah, it's about competition and winning and everything, but that's what sports is about right there.
DT was a stud too. I mean, he was great.
He was a damn good player, dude.
He was fun to watch. Everything I've seen, apparently he was like a complete stand-up guy too. Like,
yeah,
he did so much for the community and everything, and
couldn't find anyone to say a bad word about him. Some teammates were saying and everything, and I believe him, man. So
yeah, it's just it's tough. It's tough to see somebody go at that age too.
Yeah, but hey, the Broncos played like he was there, like he was watching the entire time, destroying the Lions 38-10. Excuse me. Not a lot to say about this game. The Broncos really showed up for this game, and yeah, they won the game, and they should have won the game.
Yeah, I think the Lions looked a little lackadaisical off of a win.
Yeah, they played in their Super Bowl. I mean, they're done for the season. Go ahead, get that number 1 draft pick.
I wouldn't say done
it.
for the season. I'd expect the Lions to keep competing, but this game, obviously, they looked it looked a little dull.
We got Arizona next week. That's going to be rough.
Yeah, but they're missing DeAndre Swift with injury. Jamal Williams, I think, was on the COVID list. So they were on their like 3rd and 4th string running backs. which
Yeah, I really
that's
can't
kind
do
of the
much with
strength
them.
of their offense. But yeah, I don't know. I, this is I don't know, third or fourth time this season we've seen a terrible Lions team.
Yeah,
Which honestly, kudos to them because they've been in all but maybe 3 or 4 games this season. So they're they're better. They're better than their record says, and I still hold by that.
100%. All right, now,
I I don't think they're the worst team in the NFL. I think there's like 2 or 3 teams worse than them, but
yeah, I
their
can agree with
record is
that.
worse.
All right, moving right along. We got three more games to cover. Giants Chargers. It was the Justin Herbert show in LA. Justin Herbert 23 for 31, 275 yards, 3 tutties. Guy's a stud. We called it. 8-5
Holy
Chargers now
fuck,
looking
dude!
for a playoff.
Is that one touchdown pass to Guyton?
Pretty.
See that?
Pretty.
65 air yards. 65 air yards.
Yeah, the man's got a cannon. The man's got a cannon.
He's got more than a cannon. He's got a fucking full-on bazooka.
Honest to God, though, bro. Shit. He is so good. I mean,
Oh
then again,
my
the
god!
Giants really didn't stand a chance with Mike Lennon playing. I mean, it's
Oh,
Mike
I don't
Lennon.
even. Yeah, no. Well, I expected that. What I didn't expect to see was 65 air yards on a single pass.
No, no, never. Never expect to see that.
That was
Anything else on that
holy
game?
shit. I still don't know if the Chargers are mediocre or good. They're a
They're
week
in
in, week
between.
out team. No, I think they're a week in, week out team, a lot like Cincinnati, which is why I think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they'll amount to anything within it. Which,
Fair enough.
boom, there's your transition, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, the Bengals, losing a heartbreaker to the 49ers. I took Bengals on the money line. Wanted to cry when it went to OT. Really thought they could do it, but I think this, honest to God, I don't think this has anything to say about the Bengals. I think this just proves how bad the 49ers are. You couldn't beat the Bengals in regulation and had to pray for a field goal in overtime. Y'all,
Bruh.
excuse me, y'all suck. Come at me, no, what? What? The 49ers suck, bro. It's simple as that. Yeah, they won the football game, but that does not mean they're a good team. Lions won a game too. The Jets have won a game. The Jaguars have won a game, and we're not saying they're a good team. Yeah, San Francisco is 7-6, but who gives a shit? Jimmy Garoppolo went 27 for 41, bro.
That's exactly my point. Is that they are 7-6. I mean, I
They're a
wasn't ever
bullshit
saying
7
they
and
were
6.
gonna. I wasn't ever saying they were going to be a great team, but you are so fucking anti 49ers that like they're on the same level as the Vikings. They have a lot of very close games, and they're right around 500. Their Niners happen to be a little bit over 500. They beat the Vikings. This team's gonna make the playoffs.
Nope.
I'm sorry you projected them to be a 4-win team, and they're already 7-6, but they're gonna finish 9-8, and they're gonna get that last wild card spot.
No.
I mean, they're gonna get their
believing that.
ass. They're gonna get their ass handed to them in the first round of the playoffs, but this team probably will get a playoff spot. I don't know why you are like so in denial about this. Like you
Because they
admit
don't
you're
deserve
wrong
it.
about you admit you're wrong about so many other things, but like it's like okay, San Francisco's not quite as bad as you thought they
Oh,
would
I'm
be,
not wrong about
and
this.
and they got off to a really terrible start. But dude, they've been just ripping off wins. I mean, what have they won? Like 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6, something like
So what?
that.
So what?
So what? They're winning football games. I mean,
They're the worst team. They suck.
Are the
They
Bengals
need
bad? Are the Bengals a bad team?
Bengals are not a bad team. No, yes, Bengals are middle of the road. The Bengals are at the same level as the 49ers.
Okay. Are the Vikings a bad team?
Yes.
Are the Rams a bad team?
Yes.
The Rams are a bad team. You're saying
No,
the
the
Rams
Rams are
are a
not a
bad
bad team.
team.
Rams are not a bad team. They did have a rough stretch there, though. Where I think Stafford
Oof.
forgot he was playing for the Rams and thought he was playing for the Niners after that one hit.
Yeah, I mean, other than losing to the Seahawks twice, who are objectively worse than the 49ers, but maybe they're better actually and just have a worse record. But here's the rest here's the rest of their games. So they're 7-6 right now, right? They play the Falcons next week. Then they play at the Titans. And then they play the Texans and Rams.
Fuck,
They
really?
they'll be 9-8 because they'll beat the Falcons and they'll beat the Texans and they'll probably
That's
lose to the
bullshit.
Titans and the Rams. And I think 9-8 will get them like the 7 seed or the 6 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, you might be right. But it's fine.
I,
They'll lose
I
the
don't know,
first round in the playoffs.
but
It's all good. They'll
but
lose
I don't
wild card weekend.
I don't know why you care, because if the Cardinals have the 2 or the 3 seed and the Niners are in the 6 or the 7, the Cardinals could very well play the Niners in the first round of the playoffs, and that's an easy win.
Very true. Very true. I guess that would be good for us. All right. Let's move on to probably. This was a good game. I liked this game a lot. I liked watching this game. Bills, Buccaneers, the GOAT, getting the win in overtime. Not a surprise at all. But I mean, solid game all around. Bills contending again after a couple not looking too hot. Josh Allen throwing the ball 54 times, though 36 for 54 for 308 yards, 2 tutties and an interception. Tom Brady throwing the ball a lot too, 31 for 46, 363 yards, 2 tutties. I mean, just a good game overall.
Stephon Diggs getting absolutely fucking, manhandled by the defensive backs and not getting a single PI call on him.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Stephon Diggs could have gotten 4 different, at least 3 or 4 PI calls, against the DBs. And guess what? There were no flags thrown. And there were some very, very, very weak flags thrown when Tampa Bay's receivers barely got touched.
Okay.
Holy shit. Like I said, this week was probably one of the better weeks of the entire season, refereeing wise, other than
Yes.
this fucking game. This was bad. This game was bad.
Yeah.
It's almost fucking blatant that they're trying to give Tom Brady fucking calls.
Oh, I
Because
don't think
God,
so.
God,
I
God
don't
forbid,
think so.
God forbid any important calls go against a team that Tom Brady plays for.
All right, so you want to talk about that? Excuse me. Let's talk about then how the Rams had no calls against them, and the Cardinals were getting literally every tick for tack called against them tonight. So you're telling me that the referees are just trying to make the GOAT win? Why the fuck would they want Matt Stafford to win? If they wanted Matt Stafford to win, they would have had him win with the Lions. So I don't want to hear no bullshit about no calls. The refs have just been like this, bro.
That is the stupidest fucking argument because the Rams outplayed the Cardinals. You're telling me, like I said, there were at least 4 times where Stephon Diggs was interfered with and nothing got called.
Well, the refs love calling pass interference, so it must have not been pass interference if they didn't call pass interference. I don't know what you want me to tell you, bro.
Are we recording this and posting it? Because if we are, then fucking stitch this in right now with that fucking the last play in regulation there before the fucking Bills kicked the field goal.
So I would, but we would actually get taken off YouTube, and our channel would probably be canceled
Oh,
because the
well. Anyways,
NFL doesn't like their
so
content getting out.
so go look that up. They don't like getting exposed for the fact that they don't know how to ref a fucking game because, or no, they don't like getting exposed because they're golden boy.
Tom Brady's their
Yes.
okay. Back the fuck up for a hot second. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
because
going on a completely different tangent.
God
Deflategate, which
forbid,
is complete bullshit, and he was suspended for. You're calling him the Golden Boy. They had no problem.
he was not suspended for it. He was not suspended for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're
He
right.
wasn't even
Yeah, he
suspended.
was because that was that was payback for how badly they handled Spygate. Are you kidding me? He was definitely suspended for Deflategate.
No, he wasn't.
It's 3 games.
No, he wasn't.
Fucking look it up.
What? The next season?
He was suspended for Deflategate.
The next season?
Yes, at the start of the season, he was suspended 3 games. No,
It's the
this is
NFL's
not something I would
golden-
just
oh
fucking
my
make
God.
up. He is not the Golden Boy. If he was the Golden Boy, first of all, Deflategate wouldn't have happened. Second of all, he wouldn't have been suspended for something that didn't happen. And third of all, the fuck is Deflategate? What are we even talking about?
Why do you have such a hard on for Tom Brady?
I
all
don't
I'm
have
saying-
a hard on for Tom Brady. I have an issue with the fact that you won't recognize greatness when we're watching it unfold in front of us. This is like you watching Michael Jordan and saying, dude, this guy sucks at basketball. All the refs are just sucking his dick and just giving him all the calls and everything. It's the same fucking conversation.
It's not.
So what,
it's
you're a
not,
Scottie
it's
Pippen
not.
guy? You're a Scottie Pippen guy?
No, it's because Jordan created his own greatness. Tom Brady's been on fucking tremendous rosters. Tom Brady's had a top 5 defense almost every fucking single year he's been in the NFL.
Yes, because football is a team sport, Noah.
Exactly. And fucking Super Bowls are not a quarterback stat. So you can't fucking say that Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's got so many Super Bowls.
Okay,
It's not a quarterback stat.
No. But finals wins is a player stat in the NBA.
I mean, there's only NBA's a 5. You got 5 men on the court. You got 5, and then your bench players. NFL, you got 11 and 11, and you got subs, and there's more to it.
Who's making the audibles? Who's making the calls? Who's throwing the ball? Who's handing the ball off? Who does literally 50% of the fucking game go through? The quarterback, Noah. Tom Brady is the GOAT. You can't change my mind. Anyway, who
did absolutely nothing against the Colts when Leonard Fournette went for a crazy game to win them that game when Carson Wentz literally threw it away? They should have lost that game. They should have lost this Bills game. This Bucks team is not good, and it's okay. I don't even need to argue about it because it's fine. Because once we get into the playoffs and they lose in the first or second round, it's going to be fine, and we can just put this argument to rest because they're not that good this year. I mean, they're definitely worse than last year. I think we can. I think we can both agree on that, at least.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And despite them having a better record at this point than they did last year, I think we can both agree that they're not the same team they were last year. Their defense is very suspect.
Yeah.
And they're going to get burned in the playoffs. But I just it's not even about all the calls. It's just one call in particular, and it was the fact that Stephon Diggs did not get that PI call at the end there, which I think you even agree with me on that one, that was kind of bullshit that didn't get called. The Bills should have gotten the ball at the 1 yard line with 24 seconds left to go.
No, there's a lot of calls I disagreed with, and if they went the way I went to, I'd be a millionaire right now. So I have no comment.
I know, but I'm talking about that one call in particular. Do you agree or do you disagree that should have been PI there at the end of regulation before it even went to overtime?
I think the refs have a really hard job.
No.
To respect their decision.
AJ, fuck you. Should that have been PI or not? Should that have been DPI or not?
Gun to my head. If I had to. Yeah, it might have been a little PI-ish.
And that doesn't guarantee Buffalo the win
And not even a
because they
little bit.
because they still would have had 0 timeouts in 24 seconds from the 1 yard line. They would have had to still
And a
punch it
field goal
in.
doesn't win that.
But Josh Allen would have quarterback sneaked it probably for 1 yard, gotten a touchdown, won the game. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying probably because it's not guaranteed. But that should have been fucking PI. That was bullshit. There were at
Whatever.
least 3 other calls that were bullshit because
Well, yeah, but that's literally every call the fucking refs have made this year. We could literally write a
no,
book
no,
this
no,
year on
because
how many bad
they
calls
love
have ruined games this year.
because oh my
It's
god,
not
no, but
because they love Tom Brady, Noah. It's not
yes,
because they love
it
Tom
is.
Brady. No, it's
They
not.
love
If
their
they
golden
love
boy
Tom Brady, why hasn't he won every game this week? Why hasn't he been undefeated yet? Why hasn't he won every Super
because
Bowl
they're
he's been
not
in?
good enough. They're not good enough to win every game. The refs can't obliviously help them in every single game.
You're being ridiculous right now, dude. There's no chance that
I'm just saying most calls are 50-50 in the NFL, right? You get rookies, maybe they're only getting like 35 to 40% of the calls going their way. Um, a lot of veterans, maybe they're getting 55-60% of their calls going their way. For some reason, Tom Brady gets fucking 80% of the calls going his team's way. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Clearly, these refs, they got to protect the golden boy. Whatever. I'm done with this conversation.
All right. Anyway, any last thoughts on NFL Week 14, Noah?
Yeah. One last thought. Fucking Packers are back in first place, baby. Home
Packers
field
are back in
advantage.
first place.
Home field
Congrats on that, bro.
advantage. I was holding off until the Cardinals lost another game to give the Packers the 1 seed back again to say this, but feels like a Super Bowl here for the Packers, baby.
It does. It does. And as a Cardinals
And
fan, it still
you know,
feels like a
I
good one
needed
for us. I can't wait to see you in the NFC Championship, bro.
I needed that home field advantage to be confident enough to say that. But
Fair enough.
now that we have the home field advantage for now, I'm saying Packers Super Bowl. Take it.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Well, we will be back later this week with our locks, takes, and degenerate picks for NFL Week 15, Saturday and Sunday. Look for that probably around Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, whenever we got around to
Tuesday,
posting it.
Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday.
I'm not good at the
Bouncing
weeks,
around a
bro.
little bit there.
I just know
One
it's
of
the
those
end of the
days.
football week. Anyway, yep. I've been AJ. That's been Noah. We'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.